Northern Colorado once again dealing with the threat of flooding. The worst of the rain still may be on its way.
People who lost everything in the Marshall Fire still need assistance, and the help they were hoping for may still be weeks or months away.
And a round of golf pays tribute to a young man killed in a deadly crash. Family and friends honor him with the game he loved.
We begin with some rain and the flash flood threat for northern Colorado and the Front Range tonight. We have seen a mix of rain and cloudy skies over CSU's campus in Fort Collins.
Elsewhere, we're seeing darker skies over the mountains, and all weekend we've been talking about the threat of flooding. The worst of the rain is still on its way. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning in Larimer County for the Cameron Peak burn scar. They're warning of ½ an inch to an inch of rain per hour there. The Weather Service says the flooding threat will increase over the next few hours.
Let's check right in with meteorologist Danielle Grant with more on what we can expect for the rest of the night.
So the rain has already begun up into northern Colorado around Fort Collins and Greeley. We're still waiting on it here around the Denver metro area, but it does look like it is still on track within the next couple of hours to get some really heavy downpours, some lightning, some thunder, everything mixing in, possibly even some small hail too. This is our vantage point out there in Greeley. And we're looking at a little bit of light rainfall just on kind of the camera lens. You can see not just the Denver area, much of the I-25 corridor, the eastern plains under that flood watch that is going to continue until midnight. Some of these stronger thunderstorms could potentially bring us 1 to 2 inches of rain in less than an hour's time. So certainly we are looking at the conditions out there for seeing flash flooding. Already quite a bit of activity going in far southeastern Colorado up into northern Colorado as we zoom in around Fort Collins, Loveland, stretching off toward Greeley, some really heavy pockets of rainfall, a little bit of lightning out there, and there is that flash flood warning in place for the next 90 minutes around the Cameron Peak burn scar. Also far southeastern Colorado, we just have a tornado warning in place out there as well as a severe thunderstorm warning. Everything looks radar indicated at this point, but it will continue for at least about the next 15 minutes time. Not only this, but we're looking at the potential for some large hail as well as some damaging winds out there. The Denver area, I-25 stretching off to the eastern plains into Kansas under that marginal threat for storms. So here we are with the Futurecast, 5-6 o'clock. Everything's starting to shift off to the east-southeast. By about 7 p.m., heavy thunderstorm pushing in right there on I-76 in Fort Morgan. We'll be watching everything kind of slowly but surely moving out by late this evening. 11 to midnight, everything clears out here in Colorado. Look at this. Much cooler in Greeley compared to yesterday. 15 degrees cooler in Lyman. Temperature sitting in the 70s. Up in northern Colorado, we're now at 81 out at DIA. So I hope you at least enjoyed the brief cool off. Again, we still are going to be monitoring those strong thunderstorms this evening, the flash flooding concerns out there. And then guys, back to the 90s we go. Hope you enjoyed the brief break today. I'll be tracking more of these thunderstorms in just a few.
All right, it's going to be a busy night. Danielle, thank you.
Thousands of people donated millions of dollars to help Marshall Fire survivors rebuild, but the survivors can't get that money until they meet with a Boulder County recovery navigator. Some tell 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan they have tried to meet with a navigator, but they can't get a call back.
That was our sprinkler.
In this backyard, Rob McLaughlin used to pull weeds.
I think of all the hard work.
Now, the weeds are all that's left.
The last 7 months have been extremely trying in that most people probably can't imagine what it's like to lose their home and everything that they owned.
She and her neighbors lost their homes in the Marshall Fire. Like many survivors, her insurance won't pay the full cost of rebuilding.
We lie awake at night wondering how we're going to afford to rebuild our house as it stood the day before the fire.
She knows people donated millions of dollars to help fire victims rebuild. And she knows she must meet with the Boulder County Recovery Navigator to access those funds. But she says she can't get a call back.
It feels like you're screaming into the dark night with no answer.
No answer every day for 2 weeks since the program started in late July.
We're working through making sure that folks are prioritized based on what their needs are and the urgency of their needs.
Tatiana Hernandez is CEO of the Boulder Community Foundation, which took in the donations. Now she says it's the county's responsibility to distribute the money.
We've just sent the money to them and they're working directly with the individuals.
So far, the county says 300 people have called to set up meetings, but staffing is limited. And a spokesperson says calls back are expected to take a few weeks.
This is the pace of recovery.
Hernandez says nationally, recovery from disasters like this takes years, not months.
And this is exactly where we should be. And in some ways, we're ahead of the curve.
That's little comfort to Robin McLaughlin.
The clock is ticking and we don't have the answers that we need. And 7 months to be without your home is a long time.
A Boulder County spokesperson says the Recovery Navigator program is not yet fully staffed and navigators are still training. She says she appreciates people's patience and understanding and asks that survivors don't call over and over again because that will slow the response time.
You understand where they're coming from, though, too, just waiting for something to happen. It's been so long. They hope that some navigator will be able to set something up at some point.
And it's the only way they can access those critical rebuilding funds.
Yeah. Cole Sullivan reporting. Thank you.
It has been 2 days now since a suspect was killed in a shooting with an Adams County deputy. Investigators are still saying very little about what happened. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says they cannot share more until the investigation into what happened Friday afternoon is finished. Deputies responded to Malley Drive off I-25 in North Glen around 4:40 Friday. The Sheriff's Office says it was helping Denver police arrest a man wanted for attempted homicide. Investigators are not saying what led up to that shooting, just that a deputy fired and the man died. A deputy had minor injuries but was okay. Adams County says only its deputies were involved in the shooting, not Denver police. Adams County says all deputies involved are on leave, but they will not say how many deputies that applies to. State troopers say somebody hit and seriously injured a 13-year-old boy in southern Colorado and then left the scene. State Patrol says the driver hit the boy on Highway 69 in the town of Gardner. That's a small town in Huerfano County. Troopers say that boy was walking when this happened. A helicopter flew the boy to Colorado Springs for treatment. They do not have a description of the vehicle at this point.
Today, family and friends are remembering Jackson Zinn by playing the game that he loved. Jackson was a Ralston Valley graduate. He died in a crash in West Texas back in March. He and his teammates were returning home from a golf tournament when the driver of a pickup truck hit their van. The crash killed 9 people, including Jackson, 5 of his teammates, and their coach. Golf has meant so much to the Zinn family, so today they hosted a tournament in his honor.
We are gathering together all the people that loved him and knew him.
What course you playing today, man?
Played golf with him for years and years.
Where are you at today, brother?
It's a nice time to get together and to celebrate his life.
Yeah.
I'm Jennifer Zinn, and I'm Jackson Zinn's mom. The accident was 5 months ago, and 2 months ago we got together with his high school coach, and we all were like, we need to do something with the momentum, and so we threw this together in less than 2 months. It sold out in 9 days.
I think the best part about like a fun, just like a random round with Jackson is like no matter how pissed off you'd get, and no matter how pissed off he'd get, or no matter how great the shots were, how terrible they were, there was always like something to laugh about.
Yeah, it was always a good time.
He'd always make it. Like Jackson in particular would always make it fun.
Golf mirrors some of the lessons that I think everybody needs to learn in life. You have to be polite.
It's on the rough over here.
You have to win with integrity and lose with integrity.
In the stars. Let's go.
There were many days where he threw and broke some clubs, but the practice and the discipline of golf was something that I think he finally got, and he loved sharing it with others. He was a great coach. He really seeked out the kids. It was important for us to have our son's accident count and have an impact. So we are raising money to fund some of the things that Jackson held dearly.
Well, dude, this is sick.
Yeah.
One of those is college sports. He was a college athlete. The pros would let Jackson teach some of the younger squirrely kids, and he would find the ones that were really good, and he would say, Mom, I really want these kids to come back, but they can't afford it. He's like, can we pay for a second session? And that was super important to Jackson. And we want some of that money to be scholarships for Highland Hills Youth Camp for golf. Yeah! And I think he would love this tournament.
A day on the course through the lens of photojournalist Taylor Schuss. Money raised from today's tournament will go toward a scholarship in Jackson Zinn's name.